by taking our danda. We're just gonna place it on the floor and go for a little danda walk. So bare feet, and you can step or roll, but let's try to find some pressure that we can place upon like the center of our foot. So around the arch and where the arch of your foot meets the ball of your foot. And we're applying pressure and creating a little bit of movement, rolling motion here so that we can get into the layers of fascia on the bottom of our feet. So remember again that your fascia is this continuous web of connective tissue, just like, or matrix rather, of connective tissue, just like the white that encases an orange whenever you peel it open, and then all those little layers of white tissue that encase the juice of that orange. We have a similar matrix all throughout our body. It is gelatinous, fluid-filled, and it's layer upon layer upon layer of this connective tissue, wrapping our bones, wrapping our muscles, wrapping our organs. And this web is held together through tension. And so if you imagine if I had a tensional web of tissue from the bottoms of my feet to the top of my head, when I create tension on one part of that web, it's going to, or I pull on one part of that web, it's going to create tension, right, throughout the rest of the web. And we actually feel that when that happens in our bodies, when we get tight in one part of our body. Go ahead and switch to the other foot. When we have a constriction, perhaps because we're not getting full breath, because we're stressed, or perhaps our organs are constricted because our nervous system is in a hyper-aroused state, perhaps sensing or feeling like we're in danger. When that happens, it creates this, it pulls on that web, and so we feel that stress throughout our entire bodies. And so tonight we'll explore a little bit with trying to feel into that web and all of these connections and relationships that take place between our psyche and body, between what we're experiencing emotionally or in our nervous system and how that actually shows up in our physical form. And mapping those relationships helps us build awareness and resilience. If we can detect an imbalance as soon as it happens, then we have a better chance of bringing ourselves into balance before we accumulate all of this stress to the point of actually creating some sort of illness or dis-ease. Good, and go ahead and step down now and just notice that, yes, those nerve endings in the bottoms of your feet are perhaps stimulated, helping you feel more grounded here. But also, the fascia, that connective web throughout your entire body, is innervated. It has 6 times more nerve endings than any other part of the body. So your fascia is a sensory organ. Good, and go ahead and just step down for a moment. Place your danda somewhere out of your way. And we're just gonna build a little bit of heat here. And we're just gonna step, we're gonna go knee high. So your knee is gonna come up to hip level, and you can just start by tapping your hands and then switching, crossing your body. That's it, and if you want, you can bounce around your room, switching your position, shaking out your limbs. And then again, knee to hip level. So creating a sense of springing back within our bodies. Keep moving as I chat with you. If you want to take a break, go for it. But we are playing with the fascial web here. The fascial web has a spring-like, it's this tensional web, that has an ability to tense up or be stretched apart and then spring back. So it's this resilience that's literally built in to our natural design. Go ahead and pause now. And then we're gonna work with pandiculation here. So tense up your muscles. You can start by contracting your traps. And most people have really tight traps to begin with. So we'd ask, why would we want to contract or make them tighter? But you can actually release muscle tension by contracting and then letting go. So practice that, starting with your traps, and then let it go. Simmer in the space between doing anything to notice that tension actually leaving. You can bring it down, tensing up your abdomen, your core region, feeling also the muscles of your lower back tense up, and then let it go. Resting your awareness in the space between doing, so you can feel this natural balancing and harmonizing quality of your natural design. Again, contract lower body, so squeezing perhaps your glutes and quads and calves, perhaps gripping your toes, creating tension throughout that fascial matrix, and then let it go. Some of you may have noticed that tensing, contracting, and releasing from your low body actually created a sense of spaciousness in your neck. Perhaps you didn't notice that, but let's try it again and let's just see if we can map that relationship. So again, contract glutes, quads, calves, hamstrings, and take your toes and curl them as if you're gonna mash them into the floor. That's right, so your arches are coming a little higher off of the earth here. That's it, keep contracting and then let it go. And map that release all the way up the back of your neck. That's it, one last time. Good, and let it go. You can also work with releasing the fascial adhesions or releasing restrictions by working with small, I think they're called rad balls. You can get these balls for fascial release. There's so many different types online, but you can get them and you can roll them in the balls of your feet. And that fascial matrix, it follows a myofascial line all the way up the back of your body. And so if you're having a lot of issues with neck and shoulder tension, you can work from the bottom up to feel that connection and release that tension. And so that practice of contracting and releasing is called pandiculation. If you notice, dogs, cats, when they wake up from a nap, that's one of the first things they do, where they're reaching out, they're contracting, and then they're releasing. So it's actually relieving or releasing tension from the muscles. And it is also one way of releasing stress from the nervous system. So we're gonna do things a little differently tonight. Typically I would wait until the end of class to bring you into a super down-regulated state. But we're gonna switch it up for a good reason. So why don't we go ahead and find either your chair or your ottoman or whatever piece of furniture that you have, so that we can come into this position. I don't have a piece of furniture in here tonight, but you at home can relax your lower legs on your piece of furniture, but let's have your knees and your hips at 90 degrees. And you should feel, not you should, but hopefully just want to draw your awareness to the release that you may notice once you find that 90 degree in your hip. You may notice a release of tension leave your pelvis. So try to find that place where it doesn't feel like you're holding on. And once you found that place, we also want to make sure that your head and neck are aligned. So we want the back of your neck long instead of short. So draw your chin down. If you want, you can bring your hands behind your head and just allow your head to be cradled here by your own embrace. So again, I know we've done this in a lot of classes, but it has such a major benefit for so many people out there who are experiencing anxiety, stress, exhaustion from overexertion, or recovering from some form of trauma. This is an amazing place that exists for you, that slackens your psoas. So we're not stretching it and we're not activating it. We are allowing this primal muscle that is linked to our survival instincts. We are allowing it to be at full rest. And this muscle is linked through that fascial matrix. This muscle is linked to our diaphragm. And your diaphragm, of course, allows you to take in and release breath and is connected to your nervous system. So all of these psyche-body links existing here. But for now, just go ahead and release all of that information and just let yourself be in this experience. There's nothing to do here in this moment. This is about allowing yourself to receive the nourishment that this position has to offer. Allowing the space for your natural design to balance and harmonize you. Invitation to close your eyes and just leave a piece of your awareness open to the sound of my voice. So sometimes our human minds and our expectations can cloud us from seeing some very simple truths. One simple truth is that space is a necessity for balanced, enthusiastic, energetic living. We need the space to process life events, to digest our experiences, and to release what no longer serves us. We need the space, the downtime, the doing nothing time to help us create room for new ideas, to birth new visions, and to cultivate new experiences. In our fast-paced society, we are often influenced by modern culture. We are influenced to judge space, to be uncomfortable within the calm, within the quiet, to become stir crazy when things feel a little slow. We can judge these times as being unproductive. We can judge ourselves as being stagnant or lazy. But may we not let the influence of our culture cloud us from seeing this simple truth. Space is the origin of all transformation. Completely relax your belly and your abdomen. Noticing the space that is created here as you release the tension. Relaxation before inhalation. Relaxing so that new life can literally flow into us. Relaxation before inspiration. Relax your belly. Relaxation before novel creation. Remember that space is the origin of all transformation. Continuing with that breath pattern now, without moving your head, eyes closed, turn your gaze all the way to the left and hold it there for the next 3 relaxing breaths. That's it, and releasing your gaze back to neutral. Keep your eyes closed without moving your head. Relax your belly before your next in-breath. And shift your gaze all the way to the right with your eyes closed. Keeping your gaze there for the next 3 relaxing breaths. That's it, and release it back to neutral now. And ever so slowly, let's shift our weights. We're going to shift our legs over to the left side, pausing in fetal position. In this position of holding space only for ourselves. This gap between nothingness and creation. When you're ready, let's come on up to seated, and I'm going to have you look at the camera and watch first before we do this together. We've done this before, but it's a little tricky. So let's watch first. All right. Actually, just take a moment before we start doing anything and just extend your legs, bring your arms back, and just notice any shifts that you may have had created in your nervous system tonight already. Perhaps there's a clearness or a spaciousness in your mind. And just an okay with beingness. I invite you to slacken your psoas and reset your vagus system in the way that we just did before you start your busy days. Also, do it before you eat, do it after you eat. This allows you to downregulate your nervous system so that you can actually digest and absorb your nutrients, right? And so that nutrition that we're absorbing has a big role in our mental health. And I am one who's quite guilty of multitasking while eating, but I promise you, if you seed this into your day after your meals, you will notice a difference in your overall sense of well-being and in your overall energy levels. You're actually conserving energy by doing this. All right, so let's bring our knees, bend your knees, bring your feet out just like you see mine, and we're gonna shift from side to side here. As you do, shift your pelvis, your rib basket, your shoulders looking behind you. Your right arm comes up, and then rounding your spine, bring your hand to the earth, stretching out and bringing it back. And then switching through center, unwinding, getting some dynamic movement in that fascial web. So much of what we do is just moving our bodies straight forward, straight back. This is kind of helping us to wring out the web and also create some lubrication in some of those layers of fascia that get pretty sticky from habitual movements and habitual postures. Good, and bring it back once more on the other side. Good, and moving through again the other side. That's it, and bring it back to neutral. Let's come on down to our backs. Bring your feet beneath your knees for a moment. We're gonna work with Starfish here. So bring your arms overhead and bring your feet extended out in a great big star or a great big X. All right, and now tilt your pelvis back. So your back pelvis, your posterior pelvis, tilt it towards the earth. And as you do, notice how there is this natural tendency for you to curl inward, right? And so we are actually working with the psoas there as well. Notice that muscle is a part of this survival response to protect, right? To curl inward. And then to open up, extending, tilting your pelvis forward, opening the front of your body, opening your heart, opening to new possibility. Good, and then tilting your pelvis back, curling in, knowing that sometimes it's completely okay to curl in, to protect ourselves, right? To take that space where it's just us diving into the depths of everything we've ever held within, the emotions that we have felt for so long. Sometimes we need the space to sift through them, and we can feel like we're not open to being productive in the external world. But when we feel like that, let us release the self-shame and remember that even when we're curled within, when it seems like we only have space for us to just be and be alone, that is our natural, built-in intelligence system stopping us in our tracks so that we can digest the past and make space for the new. Keep moving slowly through this, feeling the difference between expansion and contraction. Connecting with your breath, allowing your breath here to be organic as long as it's occurring, right? Not trying to control anything here. Good, and bring it back to the earth. Let's find our blocks. Bring both blocks to you. And we're going to lock them behind our heel and hamstring. All right, and now let's create some energetic action here. So here, hug your energy in as if you are drawing it in from the external world, drawing it in from the edges of your skin into your muscles and your bone. Feel your energy hugging in, self-contained. As you do, your legs grip and hug around the blocks, and you can feel yourself perhaps here existing as a strong, sturdy, stable organism, built into your natural design. Is that truth? Sometimes we may not feel stable and sturdy, but it's right here. So if you're having a day of feeling scattered, of feeling like you just can't keep it together, you just can't keep going, use your proprioceptive sense, which is exactly what we're doing right now. Grab some blocks, squeeze, remember, hugging your energy from the external to the edges of your skin, to your deep muscle, to your bone, and feel your strength as part of your personal truth. Good, and now we're just gonna move through space here. So you can move your arms, you can move your legs, but keep hugging your energy to the bone in your lower body. And noticing here that even though we've added some weight with the blocks, so often we think of weight and heaviness in our lives as being a bad thing, but notice that when we add the weight here, that we actually feel more of our humanness. When we were just flailing through space in Starfish a little bit ago, perhaps you were not even as aware of your strength, your stability. Perhaps you weren't even really feeling alive in your physical form. So remember, sometimes heaviness is just here to remind us that we're human and to remind us of what we are and what we are not. Good. And pedal it out. Pedal a little faster now, but keep hugging your energy to the bone in your low body. That's it. If you want, you can get your arms involved. If you want, if you're feeling a little aggressive, you have a little healthy aggression that needs to be discharged from your nervous system, you can punch the air, right? But keep hugging the blocks. Keep hugging your energy to the bone. Feeling your physical form alive and resilient. Keep moving just like that. And if you want, because no one can hear you, you can even make a sound, right? Sometimes we need to let some stuff out vocally, right? So when I'm really ticked off and I need to let it out, I like to make like kung fu noises. So have fun with this. Our heaviness and our aggression and all the darkness that we feel, it doesn't have to be something that we shame ourselves for, right? Can we bring some comedy, some levity to it? And just let it be a reminder that we are human and that we are fully in life. Some people walk through lives and don't allow themselves to feel it all, and here you are, allowing yourself to feel everything. Keep going just like that. Keep hugging your energy to your bones and your lower body. Awesome, and maybe together, ha, 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 ha. Just a few more, working through it. Good, and then release it. That's it, and shake out your legs. That's it. And then squeezing again, contracting, curling your toes, squeezing your calves, all the muscles of your legs, perhaps your glutes. Squeeze it all in and let it go. And just allow yourself to simmer in the space between things. Just be here for a moment. Flip your palms open towards the sky. Invitation to repeat these words or to just listen. I am willing to surrender to this moment and all the ways that it may shape me and transform me. I am willing to surrender to this moment and all the ways that it may shape me and transform me. Awesome. Let's bring it back in. So by that I mean bring your knees over your hips, bring your hands behind your knees, tilt your pelvis back, flex or round your spine, and then use your core to begin rocking along your spine. If you're on a hard surface, put a blanket under you. I'm sorry, should have said that before. So just using your core strength to create this momentum. And then when you're ready, go ahead and rock up. And we're gonna flip over to all fours. Knees beneath your hips, wrists beneath your shoulders. Good, and then here, contact your rib basket, right? So side ribs, and we're just gonna initiate movement from our side ribs to the side, down, and back up. So like if you saw a snake slithering, how they have that sort of curvy curvature to the way that they move. Think that as we move like barrel rolls, rib basket leading the movement. Side to side, forward and back. Switching directions. Good. And then bring it back to neutral. Here, tilt your pelvis back. Round your spine, chin towards your chest. That's it. And then tilt your pelvis forward. Spinal extension, keep the back of your neck long. Keep moving just like that. That's it. Walk your hands up your mat and press back, downward dog. Good. So here, sit bones are high to the sky. So drawing sit bones high and back. Hamstrings pressing back behind you. That's it. So also, if you're not too familiar with down dog, make sure that your entire hand is flat. So you don't want your hand to be cupped. You want your entire hand to be flat, the mound of your forefinger and your thumb still pressing into the earth. Spreading your fingers wide. That's it. Good. And then lift your right leg back behind you. Point your toe, your big toe. Bend your right knee. Press your left heel into the earth. And then open your right side body. Bring it back to neutral and step your right foot forward. Good. Coming into a low lunge. That's it. And now bring your back knee to the earth. Find a block. If your blocks are hard, then put a towel over your block. And then we're going to place that block behind or beneath our left knee. Tuck your toes on your left foot. Okay? And then bring your upper body so that your shoulders are over your hips and draw your low belly in. So we just want to make sure your pelvis isn't tilted way forward like mine is right now. Bring your pelvis to neutral, low belly in, but allow the space for your breath. So relax your belly and find your next inhalation. Good. All right, so tucking your toes under on your back foot. The energetic action here is we're going to push back energetically through the inside of our back heel. So you're pushing back energetically through the inside of your back heel. That's it. Keep your low belly up. Lift your left arm. All right, so here we're working with the iliacus, which is related to your psoas, helping to release this. Bring your right hand to your thigh, to your right thigh. Press down and forward into your right thigh. That's it, and keep pushing energetically back through your inner back heel. Good, let's be here for 5 more breaths. Remember, relaxation before inhalation. Keeping that energetic action. That's it. Just a couple more breaths here. That's it. Go ahead and release the energetic action. Hinge forward from your hips. Lift your, take your front foot and walk it to the outer edges of your mat, or maybe even off your mat. And then turn your toes of that front foot at a 45-degree angle. That's it. And now, create some action in your left leg so that you can lift your knee off the earth and move the block. That's it. Just like this. So creating some space in our pelvis here. Let's just be here for the next few breaths. And then here, can we find that action of hugging our energy in to the bones of our low body? That's it. Go ahead and release that energetic action. Lower your back knee to the earth. Walk your right foot back in. That's it. Now, grab both of your blocks. Put them on their high setting in each hand. Good. Lift your back knee. That's it. And now shift your weight into your right leg, your right foot, squeezing, hugging the energy to the bone on that right leg, lifting your left. It's tough on carpet. It's so much easier on a hard surface. Lifting your left leg. That's it. Now bend your left knee, bringing it through to the front of your body and step down. And just have a moment here, letting yourself recalibrate in the space between. Let's come to the top of our mat. Our feet are hip width apart. Find equal weight on the balls of your feet and the heels. Find a neutral pelvis. That's it. Now, bend your knees slightly and draw your energy of your legs as if you were going to pull your thighs apart. You're not actually moving them, but you're activating them as if you were going to pull them apart. Keep that activation. Good. Bring your arms overhead. Look up. Good. And then on your next inhale, forward fold. That's it. Bring your hands to the earth or maybe to your shins. That's it. And then here, draw your hamstrings back. That's it. Allow your crown to fall towards the earth. One more breath here. That's it. Inhale, and on an exhale, find a halfway lift. That's it. And then fold forward, plant your hands, step back. You can find a plank, or you can bring your knees to the earth, plank with your knees down. Good. Squeezing as if you were squeezing a block between your thighs. And then we're going to lower all the way to the earth. When you lower to the earth, though, keep your elbows hugged into your side body. That's it. That's it. And now cross your arms in front of your body, your chest. And use your belly, or actually the muscles of your posterior chain. So this is more on the back side of your body that you're going to activate to draw your belly away from the earth. And slowly back down. Let's do that once more. That's it. Now bring your fingers, so bend your elbows, hugging your elbows into your sides, and bring your fingers shoulder level. That's it. So your feet are, the tops of your feet are hugging the earth. That's it. And then your pubic bone is going to ground into the earth. Lengthen up through your spine. Lift your head and shoulders. That's it. And then bring it back down. Good. Tuck your toes. Press back into downward dog. Sit bones high, hamstrings back. That's it. Ground your right heel into the earth. Lift your left leg. Point your left big toe. Bend your left knee and open your left side body. Keep grounding your right heel. That's it. And now, coming back into neutral position on that left side, we're going to bring our knee through. So bring your knee to your chest, look up to the top of your mat, and then step forward with your left foot. Some people in here have worked with some traditional yoga, some people haven't, so trying to cue for all. All right, lower your back knee to the earth. Find your block. If it's a hard block, cover the block with a towel or cushion it. That's it. And then lifting shoulders over hips. All right. Tuck the toes of your right back foot. Keep your low belly up or in. You're not holding your breath. We just want to make sure our low belly is not dumping way forward, right? All right, so now find that action of pushing back through your inner back heel. Keep that energetic action. Lift your right arm. Press your left hand into your left thigh. Keep the energetic action pushing back through your inner back heel. That's it. 5 breaths here. Keep breathing. I'm just coming up to check the time. That's it, just a few more breaths here. Keep that action, pressing back through your inner back heel. Releasing so much of this tension that gets pent up in the pelvic region. If we're having issues with neck and shoulders as well, a lot of that originates right here, connected to psoas and our diaphragm, because it's such a connection to the nervous system. Good. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and release. Hinge forward from your hips. Walk your, let's see, how did I want to do this? Yeah. Walk your left foot off of your mat. So take it wide, just a few inches off of your mat, or maybe just on the edge of your mat. Everybody's body is different, so. All right, and then open your toes 45 degrees on your front foot. Hinging forward, lift your back knee, remove the block, bring your back knee back to the earth. Okay, and then let's find wrists beneath our shoulders. Take your fingers wide. Your palms, including your forefinger and thumb pad, are pressing into the earth. So you're going to be really sturdy here as you lift your back knee. That's it. Good, and then here, if you wish, you can lower your pelvis towards the earth a bit, feeling a bit more opening in your pelvic region. Or you can even bring it down to your forearms. Good, just a few more breaths. That's it. Lower your back knee, walk your left foot back in. Find your 2 blocks. On the high setting beneath your hands, lift your back leg, all right? And then from here, you may want to walk your blocks a little higher up the mat, but we're going to shift our weight. So you may want to bend into your front knee and then strengthen your front leg. Lift your back leg off the earth. That's it. And now bend your back knee and drop forward. That's it, and land. Good. And then meeting together at the top of our mat. Let's take our right leg and we're just going to open up a little circle at the hip and then bring it behind your body. So crossing it behind your left leg. Squeeze your thighs together. Bring your right arm overhead. Good, and then opening your right side body. And actually, let's bring it back. I want to add a little bit to this. So let's actually take your right leg. It's going to be a wider stance. So watch me. This is wide. I have about 1.5 feet between my feet. I'm balancing on the ball of my back foot, right? And I'm allowing my body to spiral open. So don't overdo it. Don't push it here. This is really just about that dynamic articulation of that dynamic posturing within the fascial matrix. It's not about like trying to stretch a particular muscle, and we don't want to go like 150%. It's not what this is about. That's it, and then you can play with opening towards the wall or going back towards the earth. Just some little micro movements here, lubricating those fascial layers. That's it. And then bring it back. Step down. Allow yourself to just be here for a moment. Noticing that when we enter the space between things, we become aware of sensations and experiences that we would otherwise not notice. Good, we're going to shift now. Shift your weight to your right leg. Take your left leg back behind you, about 1.5 feet between your feet, depending on how tall you are. That's it. You can squeeze your thighs together and then open up. So as we do that, we're allowing our upper body to sort of spiral. Yeah. Just a few more breaths here. Creating some spaciousness in that fascial area around our abdomen, our belly, our diaphragm, our psoas. creating space for our autonomic nervous system to fully reset. Good, and then spiraling back to neutral and bring it back. Pausing for a moment here, maybe placing your hands somewhere on your body and just closing your eyes to notice those little sensations happening throughout your tissue. So we have blood vessels and nerves running through the fascia as well. So when it's getting really constricted or congested or restricted, it does affect the flow of fluid throughout our entire body, the flow of chi throughout our entire bodies as well. So just something to keep in mind. Dynamic movement, creating space in the tissue, is really what allows us to have a sense of vitality and energy throughout our days. I'm just going to check in with the time again. We're doing good tonight. All right. So let's take a wide stance. And toes are going to be pointed out at 45 degrees. All right. And we're going to bend our knees and come into goddess. All right, so we're gonna work a little bit here with breath and with allowing ourselves to like simmer in the space between things. So I'm gonna show you where we're going. So it's just gonna look like relaxation. Just watch me first. If you wanna come out of goddess, you can, to just watch. But we're gonna start here. Relaxation of belly and abdomen before inhalation. So I relax, I inhale as I come down, crossing my body. On my exhale, I contract my pelvic floor up. So the floor of your pelvis, down by your parts, we're contracting it up, like lifting it up. And as we do that, we're exhaling. And as we do that, we're pushing all of this pressure from our intra-abdominal space, allowing the diaphragm to fully move up so we can fully let go in order to fully receive. So let's practice it all together. So we'll start here. Relax your belly. Inhale down, reach. Contract your pelvic floor, exhale up. Notice when you contract your pelvic floor and come up, you actually have that pressure propelling you up. So you're expending less energy. This is conservation of energy. All right, so let's just keep moving just like that. Relax, inhale down. Let yourself fully exhale before you begin your inhalation. So we're going to move through this for quite some time. Go at your own pace, finding your rhythm. Attuning to those sensations of relaxing, inhale, contracting, exhale. Keep moving just like that as I talk to you. So we take approximately 22,000 breaths in one day. And healthy breath allows us to build what's called a healthy intra-abdominal pressure. That healthy pressure allows our fascial web to get full range of its movement potential. That full range allows our tissue to be lubricated, circulation to be optimized, toxins to be released, and nutrients to be absorbed. So if we're experiencing exhaustion, anxiety, whatever it is that makes us feel imbalanced, remember, always come back to breath. All right, we're gonna move through it just a few more times together. That's it. Go ahead and come on up to standing. And now point your toes. We're going to turn our toes so they're ever so slightly turned inward. So it's not like a full 45 degrees. It's just ever so slight. Toes are slightly in. That's it. Bend your knees slightly. And again, bring your hands to your outer thighs. And as if you were going to pull your thighs apart, just activate them. That's going to protect our back as we come into this forward fold. Good. Now you can straighten your legs. Don't lock out your knees, but you can straighten your legs. Okay. And now take your, this might be backwards, so try to just listen to my words. Okay, so meaning the image on the screen may look backwards from what I'm saying, but take your left hand, walk it over to your right foot, and your upper body's going to rotate as you do that. That's it. Now take your left hand and wrap it around the back of your right ankle. Good. Take your right hand, wrap it around your rib basket, and rotate your ribs towards your right leg, and then reach your right hand up to the sky. Just a few breaths here. Relax your head and neck. Good, and now release, rotate back to neutral. All right, hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Now, right hand walks to the left foot. Rotate your ribs towards your left foot as well. That's it. Take your right hand, wrap it around the back side of your left foot. Good. And then rotating, reaching for the sky. Just a few breaths. Good, and then go ahead and release, coming back to neutral. Bend your knees, activate your outer thighs as if you're gonna pull your legs apart. That's gonna protect your back as you stand up. Good, and go ahead and release. Shake out your legs. Good. Let me check in to see what we have time for. All right. Yeah, let's grab our blocks and let's bring our blocks to the earth. I don't know if I want to do this before we do the other. I kind of want us to relax. All right, yeah. So actually, squash that. You can bring your blocks to the side. I want to bring the energy down a bit. Okay, so find happy baby. So what this is bending your knees, drawing your knees towards your armpit, taking your hands to the outside of your feet, right? And now creating some action here. Your hands are pushing into your feet. Your knees are pushing towards your armpit. Okay, keep your left side in this position, but extend your right leg down to a hover. okay? And then you're hovering, you can move your right leg back and forth, side to side, just to hover above the earth. If you need to hang on, gripping your mat so that you don't move around too much, you can do that. Releasing flexors, creating space in the pelvis where we hold so much tension and so much emotion. Good. And now bring your right foot into happy baby. Extend your left leg down to a hover, and then again shifting your leg from side to side. That's it. And then release both legs, extending down. If you want here, you can make your way back to that position where we're slackening your psoas. You don't have to. You can lay here in, just lying on the earth in any way that feels comfortable, or you can bring it back to this position. So much time? Okay. And so wherever you are, just make sure that the back of your neck is not short. So draw your chin slightly down, maybe prop it up with a towel or something, or a pillow. So we're going to play a bit with communicating with the innate intelligence system that is responsible for the communication that's taking place between all of your cells right now. All of this invisible communication happening in trillions of cells. And the communication that's happening in the space between the cells, the extracellular matrix, that is a measurable vibrational field. And that those frequencies, those vibrations are communicating and informing the cells how to behave, how to relate, whether we're sick or healthy, and whether to respond to that or not. So we're going to practice communicating with that field of consciousness or intelligence. And if this seems a little too out there for you, that's fine. You don't have to participate. But you have nothing to lose by also participating in perhaps something new to experience or feel. So let's have eyes closed and just take your left hand palm up and put your right hand palm down. What I'm about to say may sound contradictory, but I assure you it's correct. Invitation to repeat these words. Inner energy. Please remove all imbalances from my left energy channel into the earth for transmutation and use for the best for all. We'll just say it one more time. Inner energy. Please remove all energetic imbalances from my left energy channel into the earth for transmutation and use for the best for all. Earth has a frequency that is harmonizing to biological creatures such as ourselves. This has been proven in various studies. And just allowing yourself to relax into this space between things as your innate intelligence system works for your best interest. This clearing may continue to take place throughout the nights. Just allow yourself to be aware of any sensations or emotions that seem to be moving through you, and just allow them to actually move through you without judging or resisting. Now switching, let's turn our left hand palm up. Do we already have that? Yeah. So it's actually turn your left hand palm down and your right hand palm up now. And invitation to repeat these words. Once again, all we're doing is playing with communicating with the innate intelligence that's already always communicating within all of our cells and the space between. So we're just playing. This meditation was taught to me by a molecular biologist, however, and it has been known to facilitate and supports healing emotionally and physically. So invitation to repeat these words. Inner energy. Please remove all imbalances from my right energy channel into the sky for transmutation and use for the best for all. So just like we compost our food scraps and give it back to the earth and give it back to the elements, you can think of this as composting the energy that we no longer need. It's not tangible physical energy, but it's the same concept. One more time, inner energy. Please remove all imbalances from my right energy channel into the sky for transmutation or compost for the best for all. Relaxation before inhalation. Allowing yourself to surrender to this moment. And all the ways that it may shape or transform you. Placing one hand over your heart and the other hand over your sacral chakra or your pelvic region, your center of gravity. I'm just seeing here, can you cultivate some feeling of gratitude for that innate intelligence? The intelligence of your body that is always working to balance and harmonize you. May we continue to return to the wisdom that is our natural design, allowing it to bring us into alignment, to free us from suffering, to help us create something truly novel. Thank you all so much for showing up to serve yourselves in this way. And remember, every time you serve yourself, you're also serving the collective. So thank you so, so much for that. And we'll see you again very soon.